Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Pierce. I'm the Learning and Video Ambassador for TechSmith Corporation. I am so excited to be with you guys today. We are going to have a great time. We're going to be talking about gifts and ideas that will help you make better videos, better images, and just generally things that will help you in your remote communication, kind of all those things coming together. This is not particularly meant to be a holiday episode. Of course, we're filming this and recording the podcast here in December, so of course makes us think of that. But these are going to be ideas and generally things that are good all year long, because you know what? You can always find time to level up and improve your skills. One of the things, of course, to help you improve your skills that we like to talk about here is, of course, the TechSmith Academy. So if you haven't seen the TechSmith Academy, it is our online learning platform. It is free. So you can go in there, you can start to watch videos and learn how to make better scripts, and learn about screen recording basics, how to make job aids, write helpful help. So much great information, and we want to make you better at whatever it is that you're all about doing, whether you're making training, communications, onboarding, you're in HR, you're doing all the many things that you can do with video and visuals. But we're grateful that you're here with us today. So I want to explain how this is going to work. We've got guests coming on. We got like a ton of people that are going to be joining us. They all work at TechSmith. They're all fantastic, and we're going to be talking through some ideas for good gear, for good ideas that you could help you make better videos and images. So with that said, I apologize in advance if this gets a little crazy. We're going to do our best to keep it under control, but we really are trying to bring you a lot of information really quickly. With that said, we'd like to bring on our first guest. And look at that. There he is. There's the man, Ryan Bort. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. Happy to be here. How you
So
doing,
Ryan,
Matt?
I'm doing great. Why don't you introduce yourself for the audience a little bit? Because they may have heard your voice, actually. They may have met you through one of our webinars.
Yeah, so again, I'm Ryan Bort. I'm the brand experience coordinator here at TechSmith. And so a lot of what I manage and stuff is our webinars and our events, which include digital events. So if you've heard of or attended our Getting Started webinars, we have deeper dive webinars. We also have some webinars we do with partners. All of that this kind of falls under my job. And so I host those for now. And yeah, that's probably where you've heard my voice if you've heard it before.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ryan, we're going to be talking in our segment here. We're going to go hit hard here. Let's talk about headphones. We're going to have a couple of audio segments, but I think headphones is actually one that I think gets overlooked in kind of your everyday work world, right?
Yeah, and so there's a lot to really think about with headphones. There's the practicality of them. You know, what is your goal when you're picking out headphones? So there's a bunch of different options that way. If you're into video editing or audio editing, of course, you're going to want a really nice set of headphones. That's not me. That's not really what I'm looking for when I look for headphones. And so my favorite headphones, I've actually got them on right now. If you can see them, they're bone conductor headphones. I don't know how much bone conducting they actually do. But what I love about them is that they allow me to still be present in the environment around me. So they're made for runners. If you go for a run, the idea is it's safer to hear traffic, anything that might be going on around you. So you're aware of your environment. But I actually use them more in the office. I can hear conversations when we're in the office. I can hear others talking, and maybe I need to
Those
jump in.
olden days of lore, right? When we were in the office
So
together.
long ago. So long ago. But now the weird thing that has happened is my son does school just down the hall from me in my home office, and I can hear him while I'm listening to everybody else. So it's pretty interesting. They don't conduct. Maybe they do. If you pull them away from your cheekbones, you can still hear. They're like mini speakers next to your ear. You don't hear as well, but I love them for that reason. I can hear my son if he needs help. I know that I don't have to worry about being so focused and isolated in my space. That said, Matt, when you asked me to do this, I said I have 3 sets of headphones on me at all times when I'm home, right?
Well, I did a count, Ryan, just because I was thinking, man, Ryan's got 3. I do have 2. I have my AirPods that I wear all the time, and I have a set that I can plug in. And actually, it came in handy today because I was doing a podcast interview, and these were dying, and they weren't going to make it through my interview. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm glad I've got those.
And that's can I get it here?
You got to move it. Got to figure out where the camera is.
That's one of them, right? the non-Bluetooth ones, I've got that as well with the jack. So if I run out of battery, I have an option. That's a big one. That's one of my three. The other one is the exact opposite of these. These ones allow me to be present and hear things going on in the environment around me. My other ones are noise canceling. If I'm really focused and I don't want to hear what's going on, I can put those on and be hyper focused. It's really great for video editing. When I'm doing my, we take webinar recordings down and we pull out some of the parts that don't apply in the recording. I'll put on the noise canceling ones and just really get into focus mode. So that's what I love about those.
Yeah, got to get in the holiday spirit, right? But you actually make a really good point, and I think for anyone that's listening, if you're editing video, whether it's your screencast or you're making camera video style videos, I think Ryan's alluding to something that's really important here, is that the sound that you're going to get your video will sound completely different when you edit through your speakers and even different headphones. And we highly recommend that you do a pass, just listen to it through speakers and you listen then through headphones, because you're going to hear different things that maybe you miss, because where's your audience going to be listening to this video, and are they going to have headphones in? And I've been in that position where I've made videos that all of a sudden headphones went in. It's like, oh, this doesn't sound nearly as good as I thought it did.
Yeah. And that's actually what you said reminded me of another point I was going to make and that's be cognizant of ear safety too. When you've got those headphones in, especially those noise canceling ones, if you're listening to music, it's really easy to turn it up a little too loud. I've got a fourth set of headphones that I use when I do yard work. They're noise canceling and cover the entire ear. Just be cognizant that you're not blasting those things. I think as a kid, I probably did that a little too much, and my hearing suffers now as a result. So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, I should probably insert the what joke, like, what was that?
Yeah.
but we'll spare everybody. So actually, I got mine right here, and these are just over the ear kind of headphones that I really like. This happens to be a Sony one. I've got another one that I really enjoyed by Sennheiser. I think the thing is, if you're going to buy earphones that are over the ear, make sure they fit and they're comfortable. Because the one thing I don't like about these, if I wear these for more than an hour at a time, as you guys can all probably tell, I've got bigger ears. They stick out a little bit. They get crunched and it hurts to edit. So definitely something to keep in mind here with headphones.
Yeah, and I know people who watch this every week are probably familiar with Andy, our video producer, and he is great for recommending headphones for that reason. He knows he's had those things on for an entire workday sometimes. So he knows kind of the headphones that really help to avoid that pain, because I've definitely gone through that as well.
Well, Ryan, we do have a question I want to bring up here on the screen, and it's, can the Blue microphone work Bluetooth? I only see a plug-in for headphones. Right Price Real Estate Group, the Blue Yeti, and maybe they have a particular microphone that does, but I don't know that I think most of them are 1/8-inch jack. You got to plug into those microphones. Which does give you a benefit. You can monitor the sound around you better when you do use the plug into your microphone, or I've got a mixing board I can plug into. It can be scary because you hear everything. So
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I'm actually using, let's see if I can pull it up. I've got that as well. I actually don't experiment too much with that. Like you said, it can be a little scary. So everything I do, I go directly into the computer and then I isolate them separately. So like you said, I have that capability. I don't think I've touched it as much as I probably could.
Yeah. Let me bring in another comment here, because I think it's relevant here. It's Garth says, I have a pair of Kenevo Bluetooth headphones that have been amazing forever. Just picked up some Collins 7 noise canceling. Garth, thank you for the recommendation. I'm not familiar with those, but that sounds like they're awesome. And Ryan, thank you for your comments on just microphones, and anyone, obviously if you've got suggestions, put them in the chat. I'm going to bring our next guest in here. We're going to be talking about backgrounds and stuff. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Matt. Hey,
Dave,
Ryan.
how you doing?
Going?
So Dave, we just got done talking about headphones. We're moving lightning quick through this. We're here because I want to talk about your background, and to do that, I'm gonna go to you as a solo shot here, because I think we all love Dave's background.
I love my background too. Thank you for saying so. And it's interesting. I'm facing a window at this time of day. I get the sun coming, shooting right into my eyes. But one of the things that I found working at home that has really helped me is having a background. And this is an idea that I actually got from another tech smithy. I had a meeting with them over Zoom, and they had exactly what I have behind me. And I was like, whoa, that is really cool. I need to get one of those. And it's been great. Do you want me to tell you why I think it's great?
Of course, we would love to know why, and I mean, just in general, why that background or just generally having a background is a good idea, especially for video creators or if you're, obviously working at home. There's lots of reasons, but
Yeah, there's lots of reasons when you're working at home to have a background. So for me personally, right, we're in the middle of the pandemic, and my office is my bedroom. It's I always joke that it's during the my work day, this is the least used room in the house. I have 4 children under the age of 10, and so like I have to like come into my bedroom to get any work done, which is fine. But I just kind of like didn't really love having my bedroom be the background when I'm on Zoom calls with coworkers, if I'm doing calls with people outside the organization. It's fine, but I thought, boy, if I could just get something behind me, then I wouldn't have to worry about all the laundry baskets. Then I wouldn't have to worry if someone accidentally opens the door while I'm on a call, which has happened, occasionally, right? Um, and so it's just nice that I can pop it up during the day. And one of the added benefits that I guess I wasn't really expecting beyond having a background, less distractions for when I'm talking to people, is it actually helps me focus. In a way, every morning, kind of going through and putting up the screen and aligning the camera and getting ready helps me focus on my work. I'm not kind of concerned about anything going on behind me, and I'm able to just focus up a little bit.
yeah,
And
I
Dave,
mean,
I like what you said about it's less of a distraction. When we went, all got our work from home offices set up, I I set up a background for me too, right? And I was like, I wanted to show my personality.
yeah.
The first webinar I turned my camera on, it sidetracked people. I think Dave, you actually were the one who had to deal with it. You were in the chat and somebody kept asking about the Spider-Man poster. And
Yeah, they
so
wanted to know
I
what
think,
issue comic that was.
yeah. And so while sometimes maybe this background works great, in that instance, I think it kind of did a little disservice and was distracting for some of our users. So just something to consider. What do you want them to focus on? Because if your background is a little too much, they might focus on that.
And it's a great point, Ryan, that your background for whether you're doing video or live or whatever, it makes a difference. And I've moved, so my comic books came down. I still haven't put them back up, trying to decide what's going to go behind me. But it's definitely, it's an interesting observation. And Dave, there's a question for the chat. I'm going to throw up here. It says, "Are those translucent panels? Can you light those up with various color LEDs?"
Yeah, so I would call this semi-translucent. I don't know if you can hear it, but when I tap on it, it's plastic.
Yeah.
And this particular one I grabbed from IKEA. Actually, my wife had to go down to the IKEA store for me, and she was going down specifically to get me a room divider from IKEA, and went into the store. And as she was about to purchase it, there was someone else there who was stacking all of them onto a big cart. And she literally had to stop the person and say, "Can I have one of those, please? I drove all this way. I need one of them," because this person was getting them for their office, a bunch of room dividers. So they're semi-translucent. I think you could put up an LED strip if you wanted to and probably have some light coming through. And again, like for me, I have limited options in my space. Both Ryan and Matt, as you can see, have like a nice wall behind them. I don't. I have like a room behind me. I'm facing a window and I have a room behind me. Um, so and then the light I have in my room is like the lamps and the light and the window I have in my room. And someday, like if I open this up, that really affects the light that I get while I'm working. So like LEDs, I could do some things to fancy it up, but as kind of I've noticed for me, as the sun moves across the sky and as the morning turns into afternoon, the whole lighting in this room seems to change. So I can, as you can see, so I can barely get a handle on it. So something like this is just a nice constant for me and for the people I interact with that like That's just my background. It's not a Zoom background. I like Zoom backgrounds too. Sometimes they can like get funky around your edges, right? If you put in one of those virtual backgrounds, but I've got this.
Well, look at this. We lost Ryan, which is great. We've told people they can drop off when they need to go and drop in the conversation. We've gained an Austin. But Dave, thank you for those comments. And actually, Kathy mentions that you should get a U-Haul blanket, block the window so the light doesn't come through and get on your face. But for everyone watching, first of all, think about your background. Think about what's behind you. It makes a difference whether you're live or you're doing, just you're making a video. People, has two effects. One, it can set the tone, and two, you can also distract people, as we learned from Ryan's anecdote. But it looks great, Dave. Thank you for talking about your backgrounds.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Austin, welcome.
Hello.
We're trying to get everybody in. I don't even think we got Dave to introduce yourself, but that's okay. Dave does lots of stuff. He's been at TechSmith for a while, right?
Yep, that's good. That works.
So Austin, let's have you real quick introduce these segments 5-minute segments go really fast, guys. It's pretty crazy. So Austin, who are you and what do you do?
So I am Austin Norton. I am the project manager for the marketing department at TechSmith.
Keeps us sane and moving forward, which is pretty
I
great.
do my best, at least.
Yeah. So we've got on the schedule right now. One of the things we want to talk about is actually a TechSmith product as an idea for people. So you got your headphones, you got your backdrops. If you guys don't mind staying on, let's talk about Audiate a little bit, because I'm guessing most people haven't heard of TechSmith Audiate. It's pretty new still. One of you want to give a quick pitch or rundown of what it does? Because I think it's a fantastic tool. I've been using it a lot lately, actually.
Sure.
I put them on the spot. They're like, oh no.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. No. Yeah. So Audiate is a cool product. I may not even be able to hit on everything, but essentially it's just a super easy way for you to be able to record your audio for a video, whether you're narrating, and then it just gives you a super simple way to edit that without having to track waveforms. It actually transcribes what you're saying, so you can easily follow a script. And then see oh, there are spots where I stuttered and I said a bunch. It'll actually put in little dots, and you can just click that and delete it, and it automatically edits your audio there, get it all cleaned up, and then also has effects. So right now, I forgot to turn off my space heater, so you can probably hear that in the background maybe. So you would be able to I actually was doing a test recording today where this exact scenario happened to me. And so you can remove background noise, or if there's a big echo or anything like that. So it's a very, very user-friendly way for someone like me. I don't make a lot of videos, but it's easy to edit your audio without having to track waveforms and get into the really nitty-gritty.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. I love calling it a visual editor for audio, which anyone that's edited audio is, you look at the waveform and you can get good at it. You can recognize kind of patterns over time, but I love that it's a tool that gives you the transcript. It makes that audio kind of the editing easily. One thing I was using it for was really interesting. For a school, a college project, my son had to do this thing, and he decided he was going to make a kind of this fake podcast. And he had asked me to record he wrote a script and asked me to record some lines. And it was so awesome that I just I knew I had made mistakes, and I just kind of repeated. I didn't have to go back and listen to them. Oh, that's definitely a mistake. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy to not have to do the clap method or anything like that, as far as catching, to be able to flag mistakes. You can just take a pause and keep going. And then you can easily see in the script where you restarted and just take that section out.
So one question that's coming up about this is Steven asks, I'm used to Adobe Audition. Does Audiate have similar features, EQ, limiter, pitch? I think what we can say is if you were to download the trial today, no, but that's all stuff that's being worked on and forthcoming, that there will be lots of those things. And Little Birdie, I've seen some things that are pretty cool and make it pretty nice. So for sure. Well, Austin, since you're here, let's talk about, since we're talking about audio, and you got to get good audio if you're talking, going to record an Audiate. Let's talk about microphones, because I think, I always tell people, if you're going to go out and invest any money, the place to start is in microphones, and then they can worry about lighting, and then they can worry about other stuff. But microphones are first. Right. So what recommendations do you have for us today?
Yeah. So as I was hopping on, you were kind of talking with Dave about removing distracting backgrounds. And for me, I feel like sometimes it's more distracting when someone has poor audio quality than, clearly I'm in my basement. Here's some cinder block walls. Um, but having a good microphone can oftentimes reduce distraction. So as far as mic recommendations, anything, a good condenser microphone like Blue has the Blue Yeti or the Nano. I recently picked up this mic. I'll slide up in the screen here. Is by a company called Fifine, Fifine. And so this one's very similar to a Yeti Nano. It's about half the price. I actually just checked it on Amazon, and it's cheaper now than what I paid for it back in the summer. So a little bit of buyer's remorse, but nothing major. But, so I think having audio, whether you're, involved in a lot of Zoom calls or whether you are making video content, having good audio quality, a good mic is the easiest place to start. Audiate or other audio editing tools can clean up it to a certain degree. And actually was playing with a test today on Audiate, where I just did a recording using my MacBook mic and then a recording here. And it was just,
It's
a million times better and easier to clean up. Way less hollow, more full. I'm standing at a standing desk, and so my MacBook's a little ways away, and so I can have this mic, closer to my face. I have it on just a little $13 arm that I bought, off Amazon with a little windscreen, and so, it's really easy to position it in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, I think there's so many different microphone options out there now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Yeti is one that gets all the love and attention because it's a great microphone. It works generally pretty well, but I slide into my desk here and I even say something like, if you have something like, it's going to see if it can focus there, like a digital recorder, right? Like that can be really handy with a little lapel mic. I have a shotgun mic right here. It's running into a mixer. There's so many microphone options. And like what you said, $60 for the one you have, and you sound great.
Yeah, it's just a really affordable way, and add a mic and a windscreen, $80. Depending on your desk setup, for me, I use it. I don't make a ton of videos, but I just more so use it. I'm in a lot of meetings in my role, and I just feel like having good audio quality, removes one less barrier of being a clear communicator. Like in my role, that's super important, and I feel like for me, it's always easier to listen to someone speaking when they have good audio quality, because for me it's distracting if I'm like hearing a weird echo or they sound super hollow. So I want to make it as easier for me to communicate clearly, so I picked up a decent microphone, but I found that I just had it on the normal legs it came with, and it was picking up a lot of my keyboard typing and like tapping on my desk. And so having this microphone arm kind of has it levitating right above my desk, and so there's a lot less vibration happening there.
Yeah, totally worth it. And also, will you say the name of the microphone again and maybe spell it out?
Sure. So the company is Fifine, Fifine. This one is a K678. I know a couple other people at TechSmith bought kind of lower down microphones. Actually, someone I was just in a meeting with because we were talking about them, and he sounded great too. I think his was maybe a $40 condenser mic. They're all just USB microphones, but it's a good company. If you don't want to quite spring for, the quality of a Blue Yeti or a Nano, it's a good alternative.
Yeah, for sure. And so if you're going to get a gift or you're looking for yourself, get a microphone. That's where to start. And in fact, I've seen a couple comments about the quality of audio and how it can affect video. We actually have research that says people will stop watching video if the audio quality isn't good. So that's that's not just hearsay or conjecture. That's a real thing that happens to people if your audio quality just isn't good. And microphone is part of it. Space is another thing. I was filming a little bit of a thing for my family, and we got hardwood, like tile hardwood floors, and it's kind of open space. Echo everywhere, and that's tough too. Austin, if you stick around with me, I want to talk about lighting next, though, because lighting. Austin, I'm guessing you're not a lighting expert, but you know the pain of you're in a basement. I have spent most of the pandemic in a basement. Now I'm upstairs, so I have a window, which is like a major upgrade. But there's lots of lighting options. So I don't know if anyone's out there thinking about, how do you upgrade to lighting? Where do you do? I have found, and I'll see if I can grab the link for them. I have 2 LED panels. And so this is a spend. I try not to ever recommend things that I don't think have value. For $250 though, I have 2 LED panels. I can control the color temperature. I can make them colors if I really want to get fancy. The other thing I can do is put them on channels so that like if I only have to change one, I don't have to change the other one. And I think it has improved the quality of my video dramatically. Even when I didn't have a really good camera, it just helps so much to add that light. But you don't have to spend $250. There's lots of, just go to Amazon, put in a light kit. You can get bulbs. I like LED because I think the lifetime would last a little bit longer. And Austin, you actually don't look too badly lit considering you're in a basement. You just got a little light or something?
I'm actually just using a little IKEA like desk LED light that usually I'll just, if I'm not doing something quite as fancy as this, I'll just have it bounce off the wall in front of me. But I actually have it turned just pointing directly at me. But I think it was a $7 or $8 little LED lamp from IKEA. So does a good job of kind of lighting me without doing too much shadowing behind me or anything. So yeah, that's what I'm using. I have another lamp over here. The overhead lights are off, but yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's actually
simple.
something, that's a great actually observation. I always turn my overhead lights off because I'm getting now just consistent light because I never know what the light bulb's going to do in terms of temperature, or it's going to create weird shadows kind of coming down. So actually, if you're going to light in the dark, which sounds maybe a little bit weird. So
yeah.
So let's see if I don't know if we have any questions about lighting, but I do recommend go pick yourself. Just get a light. There's ring lights are really good. The only thing I'll say about ring lights, I don't know, Austin, if you've seen them, like that circle on the eye, it looks kind of a little bit weird. And Garth asked the question: is TechSmith sponsored by IKEA? No, but good-looking things at a cheap value obviously work well for us.
I think it's because there's an IKEA about an hour from our office, so it's not too far. So,
and it's still novel enough, right? Like, because it's not like every day, like, oh, we have Meijer here in the Midwest, but we go into Walmart or whatever. You're gonna get a little bit of a different variety. But astute observation, Garth. You're listening. We like that. Erik says, I've been looking for a ring light, but I haven't gotten any lighting yet. There's ring lights are one option.
Yeah, I was going to say, even like Rachel that we work with just got one recently that like clips onto the top of her screen and does a really good job lighting her. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on a light stand and a big fancy one either.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're almost into our next segment. We're actually waiting for our next guest, so we're just going to start without him, and he can introduce himself when he gets here, but that's okay. Next up, I mean, this seems like an obvious option because we're TechSmith, and we make awesome tools. We got Audiate. We can't forget Snagit, of course, but let's talk about Camtasia. For me, Austin, I do a lot of video work, but I do 95 to 98% of it in Camtasia, which I think some people find hard to believe because I'm doing a lot of camera work.
Right. Yeah, I honestly don't make a ton of videos. Like I said before, my kind of focus on audio quality is more in a live setup. But yeah, whenever anyone is talking to me about needing to make videos or teach someone how to do it, especially now where there's a lot less in-person interaction, it's just such an easy way to use it and to make training content or really any sort of video at a pretty user-friendly way.
All right, I got lots of people coming in, so let me get them assigned and we'll get here. So I think one of the things I'm trying to do multitasking here. One of the things I love about Camtasia is the simplicity, but how much it's empowered me to make other things that are super, I think just like super powerful, like the animations, the behaviors. And here's Mike Kwiansu. Hey, Mike, welcome. We're glad you made it.
Hey, guys.
We were just talking about Camtasia. Real quick, introduce yourself and tell the people watching what you do for TechSmith.
Yeah, so Mike Kwiansu, but you may hear Matt refer to me as Cooch sometimes.
All the time.
That is a nickname because of a very long Finnish last name. So I'm a portfolio marketing manager, and my product specialty is Camtasia, which I'm excited to talk about today. And a fun fact, About me is I grew up about as far north in Michigan as you can get in the Upper Peninsula or the UP of Michigan. A lot of people don't know there's an Upper Peninsula. A lot of times they think it's just an extension of Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, you grew up in the snow, right? So we're
That's
gonna
right.
always snowy. So we're gonna bring Jessie in. Hey, Jessie, just just so she knows she's on here. We'll get her to her in a
Hello.
second. So Cooj, so tell us. We talked a little bit about some of the use cases for Camtasia. What would you tell people that are watching who maybe have not had the chance to use Camtasia or are thinking about it, but what would you want them to understand and know about it?
I think, the biggest thing is, especially talking about 2020 and the year that we've had, the the biggest thing is just get in there and start playing around with it. There's so much flexibility in the types of videos you can create with it. Just get in. We maybe, if you're like me, you have more time at home now. So, get in there, start playing around, and, unleash your creativity. See what you can make. I was thinking about some of the different types of videos that can be done this year alone. You know, maybe your family hasn't seen much of you this year. It would be good to do a holiday greeting style video that includes any video or images, pictures you've taken throughout the year. Um, so yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing is it's as powerful and creative as you want it to be. So if you've got the time, you're at home, you're looking for some fun things to do, start playing around with it.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you actually mentioned some ideas for people because look, we know a lot of people are working from home. You got maybe some extra time. You got to take time off during the holidays. Hopefully, you get the time off. But what were a couple ideas you thought for like kind of holiday time that would be good uses to dig into Camtasia? Because I think people make the mistake they get the product and they're like, oh, I'm going to use that, and then they don't have a project right away to start learning. So, what were your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, so if you're like me, you might have family members who get some new technology, computers or devices this holiday season. Um, you know, help them out, give them a true gift, make a tutorial so that they can actually use it. Because if not, they may reach out to you again and again with different questions. So if you make that video one time and just walk through it, you probably do them a favor and do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other than that, I mentioned a little bit about the holiday greetings. If you have pictures, if you have a presentation, if you have things like that, a video can be as simple as starting from what you have and just assembling it in a way that you're bringing it to life. Add in. I heard you and Austin talking about like animations and things like that. Yeah, add in a little bit of that to really bring it to life. Even static things, like a presentation or a collection of images, can turn out to be a pretty spectacular video.
Yeah, I'm going to just share some feedback that Ian posted here that I think is really good. I always viewed video creation and editing as a holy grail of digital competencies. I never thought I'd understand or be able to create video thanks to Camtasia and the certified course. So yeah, that's awesome, Ian. Congratulations on feeling like you've gotten to that point. And for anyone that doesn't know, we have certification option for Camtasia. If you buy Camtasia along with the maintenance, you get access to it's like a 10 or 11 hour online course that will walk you through everything you need to know and more about using Camtasia, which is really great. But we also have free stuff too. So Cooj, this has been really helpful to hear about Camtasia. I hope everyone's taking advantage of the opportunity. We do have the free trial, of course. If you guys feel free to stick around, if you got to jump, no worries. We understand, but we appreciate all the comments and stuff that's coming in so far. This is really awesome to see the questions, the thoughts that you guys are putting out there.
Yeah,
we're going to move to our... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, before I leave, I will steal from what Ian said there. And a lot of times the biggest hurdle with Camtasia or creating videos is thinking that you can't do it.
Right.
And you know what? You can. And like you said, Matt, we have a bunch of resources available to help you out if you're not the type that just likes to get in there and start playing around with things and see how it turns out. So there's definitely a big support system to make sure that you are successful. So yeah, I think of all the years we need to do something that we think we can't, right? And just get in there and start doing it.
We have a branding opportunity to call it Camtasia.
There you go.
Sorry, everybody. I apologize. I should probably just leave now while I'm ahead of things. Well, thanks, Mike. We appreciate your time. We know you're a busy guy and you coming on and talking with us. But we're going to move on to our next topic. Like I said, we're going to go through lots of these. So, Jesse, before we do that, though, let's have you just introduce yourself because you've got a great role, but a tough role at TechSmith.
What do you mean? I have the funnest role at TechSmith.
You have to monitor all the chat for me and get all my scrambled last messages like, "Hey Jesse, I'm doing all these 20 things."
Oh man, it's the best. So I'm our social media coordinator here at TechSmith, and I've been here literally forever. So and I get to work with Matt all the time, and it's a blast. I get to do all the chat and the behind the scenes stuff. So that's why I'm constantly looking, you know.
Me too. Like I've got 20 windows open. So, but first of all, everyone, I think it's great that you're on here. So I know we have some people that watch regularly or listen regularly, and they get to hear the person I'm talking about for chat that's helping and answering, doing some of that work, making me look really good. But before we get to your topic, which is coming up in just a couple minutes, I want to talk cameras real quick. And I know, Jesse, you're probably like, you don't know anything about cameras, but this is in that trifecta of things. I make recommendations. We talked about microphones, then I suggest lighting. The next thing, if you're going to improve your quality of your videos, is a camera. And here's the problem I see with cameras, though, is who has the money to go invest in $10,000 in a camera? Like cameras is going to be one of your most expensive investments, but I can tell you from the quality that I have gotten that it's worth investing money in a good camera. My MacBook Pro, I don't like the camera. I think it does a terrible job, even with good lighting, but it's better than nothing. But so I know people ask a lot of times because they see the quality of the stream and they say, "Hey, Matt, what's the camera?" I'm using a Sony A6400 with it's a 16 millimeter lens, which equates, because it's a weird lenses crop and stuff like that. It's about a 35 millimeter lens. But any camera, I mean, here's the thing. You'll get good quality out of like a smartphone camera as well. But use what you've got, learn some technique, but it's worth investing if you have the ability to do so. And Jesse, maybe we can answer this question before we keep moving on. Is what happened to Erin from TechSmith? She was awesome. Erin's still at TechSmith. She's still here.
Alive and well. She's doing great.
She's got her day job, and she's I think actually taken some new responsibilities on at TechSmith. But the series we like to highlight different TechSmithies throughout the year and different opportunities, and so we all love Erin too. So
yes, she's just so happy and joyful, and everyone else seems to think so too. So that's really great to hear when everyone enjoys her videos. So.
Sorry, I'm not Erin, guys. I apologize. But
Me too.
I do want to share Ian's comment here. A good 1080p Logitech camera can't go wrong. Just your cell phone can do wonders. Yeah, I think the idea is move beyond kind of the base camera that you have, and you're gonna find it's gonna make it better. I think our philosophy with any of these gifts is don't go buy the most expensive thing, because here's the thing, even with like a DSLR, it's going to give you good results, but you have to take the time to learn. And it's going to be way more complicated and challenging to set up. So if you're overwhelmed with kind of that digital literacy kind of piece of making video anyway, that's going to be the challenge. You want to focus on making just good video, good content, and then up the quality of the video. But Jesse, since you're here and you do a lot of this behind the scene monitoring, I wanted to talk to you about gift ideas and thoughts for, obviously you make videos, people make videos, but then you got to share them out. Like, what are some of the things that you were thinking about when we talked about like kind of gift ideas for folks?
Yeah. So initially my first thought was like, I don't have anything to talk about really. And then as we've been sitting here, I thought of a million things. So my first one that I originally was going to talk about is if you are a social media professional or even just someone who is making videos, portable battery packs or chargers for your phone are a lifesaver. So I have at least 2 really good portable chargers that I keep with me. And then at my desk that I use all the time, I just got this little handy dandy thing for, what do you call that? Inductive charging? Is that the right
Yeah,
thing?
so it's like you put it on the
So I
thing and it
just
charges.
set it. Yeah, because I have my phone sitting with me all day, and I don't know how many times I've had it plugged in and forgot and grabbed it to do something, on Instagram, and knocked, my coffee over or papers or whatever. So I just have this that I can just keep it sitting there, and so it's charging while I'm at my desk. And then I always have my portable ones with me. So, remember the days when we used to go out and do things, and you'd have your phone on the go, and it would, you need to keep it charged. So.
And I love it because how often have I have a hardwire to my camera so it doesn't run out of battery, but I was using battery and I hadn't charged it in a while and it ran out. And I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
So just like thinking about all your power needs is such a thing, especially during video creation.
Yeah.
My lights can actually use batteries. I don't have batteries for them. They're again hardwired, but like I can imagine like that's a big thing that you got to keep charged up. And I'm guessing some coffee goes a long way for keeping you charged up too, Jesse.
Coffee definitely goes a long way. And one other thing, especially for this type of stuff, for the behind the scenes. So if you're doing any kind of live stream, you're helping with the chat, even if you're not live. Something that has been my lifesaver is a second monitor. So
Yes.
I can have, a chat over here, a stream over here. That's really super helpful to try and keep track of everything.
What Jesse's not telling you is she has Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and probably 12 other things. The live stream chats, plus everything every social media platform ever, she has open. She's watching them at all times. It's like the all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Yeah. We could do a whole episode on just social media professional gifts that you could give. So yeah, I won't go too far into it, but this has been super helpful for me today because I am just using my built-in MacBook Pro cam and my plug-in earbuds here, and I'm really feeling like I need to up my game to keep up with you guys.
One step at a time. Jesse, if you want, you can stick around. If not, you've got to go. I understand, but I know you're monitoring the chat anyway, so hang out with us, and let's welcome Rachel Parker to the Visual Lounge.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Rachel. Let's, so I'm guessing a lot of people haven't had a chance to meet you. Just quick introduction from you, Rachel.
Sure. So my name is Rachel Parker, and I am, what is my current job title? Brand Experience Strategy Manager. I have been at TechSmith for a while, so I've had quite a few different roles across the marketing department. So always takes me a minute to remember which role I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here. So this is where, if you are interested in just serious gifts, like we talked cameras, lighting, we've talked audio, we've talked Camtasia, we've talked all those things. We're going to talk about something I think that gets overlooked because we know it's been a year. Let's be honest, right? It's been a year. And video creation, as much as we say, oh, everyone can do it, it's easy, you build up a little stress because I know we've talked about this on the live stream before. People don't like hearing their voice. I'm sure Jesse and Rachel are very comfortable right now being on camera. Right, you got to take care of yourself. So let's talk about taking care of yourself to make better videos. So Rachel, any thoughts about that?
I have quite a few thoughts on this. So
I knew you would.
Shocking, right? So when I first started working remote, there were a few things that kind of almost instantly I came to realize very quickly. One is that I actually drink a ton more water working from home. Maybe it's because I'm closer to my kitchen, but I drink a ton more water. So I actually invested in a pretty hefty duty, decent water filter. It's called a Berkey water filter. So that was one thing. And everyone at work is probably so tired of hearing me talk about this, but that led to my second thing that I noticed is that I go through toilet paper a lot faster when I have to provide it myself instead of TechSmith providing it. So I also invested in a Tushy bidet toilet seat, which I absolutely love. And I'm not an affiliate. I just really love their marketing. They're hilarious. If you need a laugh, go to their website. They're really good at talking about a topic that's not a super comfortable topic to talk about, but they do it in a really funny, pretty clever way. And And then the third thing is that I sit a lot more because I'm not like up walking around to coworkers' desks and getting coffee with them or whatever. So I'll just show this to you because I grabbed it real quick. This is a heated shiatsu pillow it straps right onto the back of your chair, and it's amazing, especially if you sit all the time, like so many of us are doing now. Sitting is really great, or not great for your muscles, and it actually gives me headaches. This pillow was like $50, and it was so very much worth it, especially in the winter. I live in Michigan. It's pretty cold outside. It's going to start snowing soon, and this bad boy's heated, so it's pretty great. And I can just sit there and like relax while I'm on my meetings and lean against my massage pillow and still pay attention to meetings while I'm like, oh yeah, I'm at a spa as well at the same time.
I love it. And I want to step back for a second. The comment about water is something that gets overlooked. If you're doing any kind of voice work or just being on video, having water readily available is so key. And I think I'm assuming the quality of water probably matters. I'd advocate just any water that's clean and potable, but so I love that that's one of your recommendations, because I think it's really a valuable thing that people tend to not think about, like, they're just going about their day. Oh, now I need to make a video, but like there's things to do to get better voice, especially if you don't like your voice. Just having water will help give it a little clarity as well.
Yeah, and I feel like we talk a lot more because you're on Zoom all day or video chat, whatever tool you use. At least for me, I feel like I'm talking a lot more than I normally would in person, which I'm sure my coworkers are thrilled about. But it does make me thirsty. And so yes, I drink a lot more water. I love Topo Chico, and they have these great glass bottles. So I just refill these with my filter water. And I think I drink at least 5 bottles of the Topo Chico bottles a day of water.
Way to go. That's pretty awesome. So I love all your recommendations. I think I need one of those things to sit on, because
I'm telling you, it's like the weirdest, silliest thing that I normally wouldn't have thought about getting, but I splurged. I think it was actually when we were still in the office. And it's been a lifesaver working from home because I don't have an adjustable seat like I did in the office. I'm really not good I have a stand-up desk, but I'm quite lazy, so I don't stand up as much as I should, which just, it catches up with you. So that's a great thing. I also have they are yoga therapy. I have all kinds of goodies on my desk. They're yoga therapy balls, and you can kind of lean against them on the wall, and it really kind of gets into your muscles if you need to get some almost like acupuncture type or type help. Silly things, totally not related to necessarily video, but still related to the whole working remotely and
absolutely.
Taking care of
I think
yourself.
just wellness in general is such an important thing. If you're gonna make a video, you need to feel good, because I have made videos when I don't feel good, and they're never as good. Like, you don't look as good. If you're feeling sickly, or your voice doesn't sound good. It happens to everybody. But just taking care of yourself is such an important piece of this.
Yeah.
Whether you're on camera or not. And I just happen to be on camera a lot, and I worry about you guys have to look at this all the time.
I do really, really appreciate that you dressed up for this. I really love your fancy tux.
I figured
sweet.
we're having a celebration, and I will note, just for history's sake, this is from anyone that remembers the Forge that we did when we first went live.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 2010, 2011, we had a competition, the Screen Champ Awards, and this was what we wore. We actually gave the first one we ever did. We actually gave out these shirts, which we'll never do again, because tuxedo t-shirts, there's a whole list of things there that are make it a little challenging. So, but I did want to dress up for today. So I'm curious, for anyone that's watching, if you have any suggestions or things that, the fun things or things that you would recommend to make sure that you're feeling healthy, wealthy, and, doing the things that are going to make you more successful. But Rachel, this has been fantastic suggestions. So we've got water, the other end, and kind of the other end too, taking care of your sitting and standing. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Austin, also, I know you guys already talked about lighting, but he did mention that I have a clip-on light, and I have it on right now, and I'll show you what it looks like without it.
Yeah.
It makes and it's just a little cheap $20, found it on Amazon, but it does make a difference, especially and David had said the same thing, like the lighting. I'm in my living room, and the lighting changes pretty drastically throughout the day because I am right next to a window. So it was becoming a joke in meetings where it's like, oh, the shadow of Rachel is here. And I'm like, it's time. I need to get an actual light so people can see my face.
Well, and during the summer it's probably a lot easier because there's more sunlight. But here in Michigan, it's dark by 5:30, and it's getting darker earlier and earlier, and the sun's not coming up until a little bit later, and our time. So the hours of the day, and then when we do have daylight, let's be honest, it's just gray. It's not even sunny. Although today's an exception. Today's pretty nice.
True. The last thing I will share with you, and I haven't actually even told you this, Matt. I am participating with a group of friends that live in Australia on Secret Santa stuff, and I hope she doesn't see this because she doesn't know what I'm making her. But I'm making her a video with Camtasia because she lives in Australia, I live in Michigan, and every 2 years we usually would meet up somewhere in a different country and like go on vacation together and catch up. Obviously, we can't do that right now, so I'm making her a compilation video of our past travels.
Very nice.
As her Secret Santa gift, and also that then I don't have to ship it. Like that's a super easy way to just like, here you go, deliver your gift through email.
Well,
so I'm
it is
excited
safe
about
with all
that.
of our friends, right? No one say anything to Rachel's friend, and we'll be good.
No one tell her. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. She has no idea that I think she thinks I'm gonna make her a poorly made crocheted something. So
Also,
she'll
a
be
good gift.
hopefully pleasantly surprised. Hopefully my video skills will be better than my crocheting skills.
I'm sure they will. You know who to go to if you need some help. I do want to post this comment by Garth because I think it's a great reminder as we're talking about some of these things. Remember to walk. I make sure to walk the dog out to get the mail every day. Not a lot of movement, but better than none. Oh my gosh, yes. Just I read something, and from a scientific standpoint, like just 5 minutes of kind of vigorous activity to get your heart rate up will improve your mental capacity. And I think there's something about that. You don't want to sound winded on camera or in your videos, but it's going to get you thinking and better. I think afterwards you'll be a little bit more articulate as well. That's my hypothesis, at least. So.
And Garth, I for my own well-being, I to help get to that goal that you shared, I got a dog last week. So
right.
She's very timid. We're not quite at walking stage yet, but I am looking forward to when I can actually take her out. She's not quite brave enough yet, but I got a dog, so I'll be able to take her for walks.
Another great, if you're up for that and that's your thing, another great way to prepare yourself to be healthy for better videos.
Yeah.
Or you can just become an Instagram success story and make lots of dog videos.
True. She might need her own Instagram handle, .thedog.
There we go. All right. Well, thank Rachel, thank you so much for joining me. And let's thank everybody else that has come on today from TechSmith. You got to meet kind of the part of the crew. And we're so grateful for them and all the time that they've spent with us. And, normally each episode, what we do is we focus on things that are new. I'm just going to say, check this out. Go out to the blog, see what's new out there. There's a lot of always great content. We're always trying to be helpful. And hopefully you found these things, these tips, these ideas to get kind of spark some thoughts about what you can do to make better video, tools that would help you to be more successful in whatever you're trying to do. And I can tell you, there's no end, and we make some recommendations, but there's lots of tools that will make you successful. Of course, we want to just remind you that we have tools that are going to help you make visuals, Snagit and Camtasia. We got Audiate for the audio, and there's some other things like the assets and the asset libraries that I find I use all the time. Camtasia Asset Library is amazing because I can pull in images, I can pull in stock video, I can pull in audio, and it just makes my life so much easier. I don't have to go searching 12 different sites with free stuff. Am I able to use it? Am I not able to use it? So whatever kind of gifts you're looking for, whether for yourself or someone else, we hope that these ideas and thoughts have helped you to level up every single day. And we will see you guys next week. We hope you all have a great one this week. So take care.